Hey everybody, I'm the Pigglesworth. Welcome back to Breakout. I decided to start down here because something super amazing has happened. See this chest? Some of y'all are like in anticipation, just starting to lose your mind. Watch this. I can move chests around. Yes, I can. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. So as we work through today's viewer comments, when I get to it, not only what have I proven to you right off the bat that it works, but we'll kind of work through all the comments to figure out how we arrived at that amazing point right there. Oh, doing a happy dance because I can pick up and move chests around now that I've moved everything upstairs. Okay, so we're just going to get right to it. We're going to get to today's viewer comment episode and start sorting through them and see how many we can get through. Hopefully we can get through all of them. So starting off, Harafin said, he was referencing episode 17, you almost had the sorting at Tiny Steel and mod item. So I think what Harafin was saying was you could do Tiny Steel. See, that doesn't come up. STE, Growth Crystal, Monster Jerky, a Redstone Apple? What? Gives me haste. Toasted bread. Okay. But see, Tiny Steel doesn't do anything. And then he said mod space item. So let's kind of sort through this and figure out like what's a mod that we have running. We'll just run through here and find something. Fishing net. Okay, so actually additions fishing net. So let's do actually addition. Spell it correctly. Actually additions. So let's do actually fishing. Haha! So you can type in the name, the first word of the mod pack. And you can type in the first word of the item, and it should sort. So let's try this. No, not at book. Let's do book. So see all these different books? So, better questing book. So let's see if we can sort by that. So let's do at better. So there's a bunch of stuff. Better book. That's amazing. That's a really cool thing. But we can see that I did Tiny Steel and that didn't bring up anything. So for some reason that's not available. But that's an awesome little shorthand feature that I've been wondering if that existed for the longest time. Oh, for the longest time. Just to see if we can sort this stuff a little bit better than what we've been doing. So that should speed up things. Fractionally of a second, but every fraction of a second added together equals a lot more, right? Okay, so let's move on to the next. Virginia LK had a lot to say. And I didn't mean that to rhyme, but it did. Okay, so she said you have to stand right in front of the chest. Now, we proved that that's not correct, because if I stand right in front of the chest, then I can't put my crosshairs on the front like she says. I guess we could. We could try to sneak over. Oh, that worked. So you can. You can't. Now, can you do it to the left? Let's find out. Let's place it down. Can you stand left of the chest? Yeah, you can. See, you said right, but I taught you something today. You can stand to the left also. I know. She meant right as in exactly, or directly, Piggy, directly. But she said you have to stand in front of the chest, directly in front of it, with your crosshair on the front of the chest. Let's try this. Oh, no. See, it lets me aim at the top as well, so it doesn't have to be the front. And use the default keybind. You may also need to clear both hands. So I'll show you what I did. I went to controls. Now, there was some back and forth in the comment section for quite a while on can we actually adjust this to something else. So I'm going to swap over to I like I thought I was going to use. We'll go back to game. I'm going to hold the letter I and then right click. See, it does work. So you can change the keybind. I think what was happening is I was not doing everything as a group. I'm sitting there looking at it, hitting the letter I like I'm doing right now. Nothing happens. I don't know. Let's see if we can stand back here. I right-click. No, see, that does it. I cannot. I'd have to go back and watch the videos now. I don't understand why now when I use the combo of keys it works, but before it didn't. So let's see if I can do it with something in my hand. Nope. Maybe that's what it was. I don't know. I'd have to go back and watch the video, but we finally got it working, and that is awesome. Now, she also said, controller slaves can be used to auto-insert items into a system without needing to insert a drawer controller. So we'll go upstairs in just a minute, but I will demonstrate with some dust. So say in the drawers we have a drawer controller, and everything runs into this, or you can right-click on it with items in your hand, and it will put it into all the sorted drawers for you. But the way she was explaining it was, let me make sure it was her. Yeah. Okay, so say over here we've got our crusher, and it's crushing items and turning it into ores. But then we would have to pipe stuff all the way over there, right? Well, she's saying that you can use trim blocks, and then this... Uh-oh. See, we're going to break everything just to make demonstrations. This could be the slave, and then we could have an item pipe going here. So this would grind up the stuff. We could direct it to this, and then this would feed it through the trim blocks right over to the main drawer thing. And now I've got to break all these blocks because I don't think I have a... Yeah, I don't have... Ooh, pardon me. I don't have a shovel with me. But she said you got to be careful because it is a 12-block maximum distance that you can put the slave block and that it will send stuff. She also said be very careful. You can only use, or you should only use one slave per drawer system. So I have to remember that as well. EdDog6666 says fishing is disabled. You'll need to do it later, and it'll be a 2-block deep space of water. So let's go ahead up here. Yeah, we got a little bit of witch water being produced. I'm going to look down because I don't want to show off what I built yet. We will get to it. Okay, let's grab you. Where are some buckets? This is very hard to do without looking at stuff and giving away. You know what's silly? The thumbnail is the image. So I guess we shouldn't try to avoid looking at stuff. Right? Oh, the buckets are right there, Piggy. Hello. Now the real question is, where did I put the fishing rod? There we go. All right, I have an axe, and I have blocks of wood, so we can do that. So let's see here. We'll do that. That's 1 deep. That would be 2 deep. It's just 2 deep, I tell you. You can't go in there. We'll put you down. Put you down. Wait a minute. Oh, there we go. And do that. So is it still disabled, or can we actually fish in this now? Gotta get the bobber in the water. There we go. So we can kind of sit here for a moment and see what happens. Now, I know in some of these Modpacks, what they end up doing is when they disable stuff, they don't re-enable it until a certain point. Like you have to do a certain thing. So it looks like while we're getting bobber action, we're not getting any bubbles, and we're not getting it responding as if we can actually fish. So it looks like for now that's completely disabled, and for now whoever's up there auto-sieving will not be Dagcraft. But if we can get our hands on a name tag, this will happen. I guarantee. There we go. Pick that up as well. All right. EdDog said you have to have both hands free to pick up items. So EdDog helped in that sense. Also said you can use the blazing doll, right-clicked on a lava-filled stone barrel to, I can't remember what the percentages was, but if you'll go read his comments, you'll see there's certain percentages, and it takes so many minutes, and it could spawn a blaze, and then you kill that, and you can get blaze rods. So, we could try and do that. You got to have the blaze rods to build the blaze doll to get the blaze rods, though. That's the problem. Now, I don't know if the blaze doll gets consumed, or if it has... Don't get so angry. Or if it has like a little health meter like your tools, where you can use it multiple times. said, Ed Dog also said the weirding module. This thing, which is basically a chunk loader. Well, it says chunk loader. I thought that we could use this and for 4 hours it would run stuff while I go have a sandwich and turn the game off. But Ed Dog said that this only works if you're on a server. So basically the game is actually running, but your character is gone. It would keep running. And let's see, Meadow Pema said that it used to be explained in the quest book. So let's check. Quests. We got to figure out, okay, here we go. Unsupervised. As my workshops get busier, sometimes I get tired of managing all the minutia. This nifty little gadget will keep my machines working, unsupervised after I shut down for the day, but only for a few hours. More than that would seem to invite trouble. Chunk loads for 4 hours after disconnection. So I think that's... Because see, I don't see anywhere else where it's telling you that. So I think that's the key word, disconnection. You have to interpret that when they say disconnection, they mean that you're on a server. That's stinkerish. But we'll still try and make the weirding module just so we can say we did. And then Ed Dog said, you can't get mobs to spawn until 3 of the crossroads are open. Metapema says, but you could use the bottom basement. So we will we'll go down here and look. I did something foolish and silly. Now, we'll get to the person who made the comment in a minute. But do y'all notice anything silly or crazy about this basement? I'll just give you a moment to look at it. Think about it. That's kind of a key right there. No? Okay, we'll go up here for now. I'll let you think it over. And then we'll address it when we get to the person. But it made me just kind of like, another bang your head against the wall moment when I read the comment. Okay. Now, Medopema, which is a she. Medopema, let me know. She is a she. So she said, the compressed hammer's not worth it because the bottleneck would be the sieve. So let's go up here and I'll show you what I mean. We'll start to address this machine. So I was contemplating, should we have this auto hammer be the compressed auto hammer? But then she was saying, well, then the problem would be that your sieve would be the bottleneck. But what we could do is I feel like it would take up this whole room to do exactly what I'm thinking, although I'm sure there's a better way to do it. But we know Piggy has to do it the very difficult way first. But basically what we could do is we could have a compactor compacting cobble and sending it one way to a compressed auto hammer that would route to a compressed sieve. So that could be possible. Although if the auto hammer does just like a regular hammer, when it's compressed items would be broken into single items, and so you would have to recompress them again. But there would be a way to do it, but you're right. As of now with the setup, it would be the bottleneck. Medopema said compact drawers are not an upgrade, but their own item, which is true. You have to you can't add an upgrade to these to make them compact drawers. You have to actually craft the compact drawers, so that's what we got going there. She said there are at least 2 types of fluid ducts, regular and hardened. The regular ones will leak if you use lava. So these, see it says hardened fluid duct. We got those as a quest achievement, and so I just kind of accidentally ended up using the right pipes. If you use like regular item ducts but are fluid ducts, then they would start to leak lava. So be very careful when you're doing that. She said sorting is based on the item ID, not the name. Now, I don't know how we can see item ID versus name here, because it only shows us one thing, which is, Oakwood Stairs Netherrack. So I'm not quite certain how we would sort by that. And then Medopema said, balance on the crafting bench evens out items. Now, she had a much more eloquent way of saying it, but I have to shorthand this so that I can get all these comments to show up on screen. So I'll show you what I mean. I was trying to craft regular coal, and so I went like this, and I'm like, no, that doesn't work. So I did this, and then I figured out that was the recipe. But then I had to start doing this. But she said, look, if you'll place that in there, hit balance. Look what it just did. It took my shape that I'd drawn, and it took all the items I had there, and it automatically made it an even number as close as possible. So that's an amazing little trick to use if you have that balance option on your crafting bench from whatever mod that comes from. So that was a really great suggestion. And then Meadow Pema said you can dye elevator blocks. So I could build a bunch of white elevator blocks, and I could use dyes to dye them different colors to make them work together as in groups. And then she said, see how we've only got 2? Well, if I put one more white down in the basement, I could stand here and squat again, and it would send me down to there. So we could basically make a column of the same elevator blocks and then scroll between them, basically, to go through different levels. Sam Nelson said you should grow netherwort on some soul sand, and I thought that was a brilliant suggestion. I have no idea why I didn't think to place netherwort on soul sand. I don't have any soul sand at the moment, but I'll have to do that between episodes. Is get some more soul sand, get some more netherwort, and then we could actually start growing netherwort. Now, I don't know if that's disabled in this mod pack. We'll have to experiment with that. But if it's not, that's a great suggestion. We could grow it instead of just, making it over and over again. Sam Nelson said you should remove the ladder so it forces you to use the elevator, and I agree. So look, now we can't do that. We have to do this. This is how you hack the system, and you hack Piggy. You have to make it where there are no options available except the one that you want. And now I don't know where in the world I put the half slabs at. Was it on the second page? There it is. See, we have to do this the right way. We have to completely block it up. Boop. There we go. Now we have to use the elevator. Rig the system. And then Sam Nelson also said, how did you come up with the name The Pigglesworth? Now, that's interesting that you asked that question because recently the channel hit 3,000 subscribers. Not physically. No, we're not violent. We actually reached a benchmark, or not a benchmark. We reached a goal line of 3,000 plus subscribers, which is awesome. So I'm gonna in the next few days, I'm gonna start working on a special video, which is basically a big thank you and showing off something from a build from a long time ago y'all have never seen, and also explaining where in the world did that name come from. It's been years that I've been using that name, and I've never really explained it to anybody. And I figured the 3,000 subscriber video special would be a really cool time to explain it. So keep yourself buckled in, strapped in, so you don't go anywhere. When that episode drops, you will finally get the answer to that question. So I'm going to go over here to my notes and scroll down. We got a little bit more to go. We'll squeeze this in. We'll make this episode long enough. So, Anis Teher. I still know I'm butchering that name. If you can figure out how to phonetically write it out, then I will do my best to try and say that correctly for you. Anis Teher pointed out, Piggy, you may not know this, but see that bedrock? See that bedrock? Mobs won't spawn on bedrock, Piggy. So this whole chamber that I've got set up, nothing can spawn in there because nothing can spawn in there. That makes sense. Oh, man. So I'm going to have to go in there and put some solid blocks so that mobs can actually have a place to spawn on. So we'll do that, and then we'll find out, can we actually make this a mob chamber, not chainer. I think it's a he, based off the cartoon image that you have for your icon. He said the diamond sieve is best, which I did figure out off camera. Diamond sieve gives us the highest percentage chances for most items. There are certain items that you may want specifically, like bone meal or gunpowder, and it's best to use the lesser meshes because it will only allow you to get certain items out of certain items. Otherwise, for bulk use, the diamond sieve is the best sieve. Shift K while mouse hovering to compress all. Control K to compress a single item. So let's see here. Do I have to let's do this. Okay, we'll do that. So if I hover over and hit Shift K, maybe that doesn't work because we're not looking at a crafting bench. So Shift K, just compressed everything that I have. And let's uncompress that. And then Control K just compressed one at a time, one increment. So Control K will do incremental, and Shift K will do all that you have in your inventory. And now I've got a bunch of cobble I don't know what to do with. So that's going to be one of those, Piggy's got to remember, have muscle memory to remember to do that. But if I can, that will be a nice little trick to, let's see, can we do it with this? Control K, Shift K. Now, see, it even if you're not going to use the interface, Shift K, Control K. Okay, so it's only for items that you can compress, not items that you can convert by crafting into something else. So that makes sense. So it's only compression. It's basically the same thing as, where are you at? This, the compressor, the same thing that it can compress. That's that shortcut. Right click the sieve with food makes the person speed up. And the better food you use, the faster they go. So if I was to take these potatoes, which I'm not gonna because they're very important to me. But if you right click that person with food, their little arm will, it'll speed up. And if you give them better food, it goes even faster. Prismarine shards is sand in a diamond mesh. So let's do diamond. Don't shout, Piggy, don't shout. U for use, heavy sieve, and let's find sand. Compressed sand. Look! Prismarine shards. Now, I haven't seen this before. This must be like as we got to the achievement, it added it to the list. I don't know. But then if we look at Prismarine shard and we do U for uses, and run those through a crusher, that's where we're going to get Prismarine crystals. So that's how you make that. That's where and I kind of figured that out off camera while I was building this, but I figured I would mention it because he was so kind as to type that into a reply. And also, Anna said you can make full blocks with half slabs. Look at that. I wish that was in vanilla Minecraft. That would be amazing. Up-converting stuff. Awesome. That was a really good suggestion. Legit Dinosaur said, that's an interesting intro image. This game looks interesting. I'm going to have to start from episode 1. And I think that was episode 19. The one where I showed off the basement only. They were commenting that was an interesting thumbnail, I think, is what they were saying. And that inspired them to go watch the whole series. So if you watch the whole series and you make it to this episode, you get to hear your name shouted out for commenting. And I do believe you're a new viewer, so welcome to the channel. I hope you enjoy the series. Luck Vandelier, which I swear makes me think of either like Dutch or I'm trying to think. There is another like Amish, almost Amish. The name looked Amish or it looked Dutch, but I could be completely wrong. But I think that's also a new name, so welcome to the channel as well, and thank you so much for commenting. They said, make fish and chips to get more saturation. So let's check this out. Fish. Look at that. Fish and chips. Oh no, that's going to take work. A paper cone. French fries, which is a knife and a baked potato. Well, that's not too difficult. We can make that. Okay, so that gives me 1, 2, 3, 4, almost 5 haunches and 11 plus saturation. That gives me 1 and 1. Wow, so a little bit of work. That does give us extra. Is there a way to filter just food? No. But what mod does this come from? Actually additions. So let's do actually. You know, actually. Triple batteries. What other foods are there? Resonant rice. You might not want to eat that. Biomash. Okay. Pumpkin stew. Carrot juice. Fish and chips. French fries. Spaghetti. Noodles. Chocolate. Ooh, chocolate cake. Chocolate. Okay, that's where toast came from. Submarine sandwich. A big cookie. A hamburger. Ooh, a pizza. Oh, yikes. Pizza looks like it would take a little bit of work. And it's got mushrooms on it. Come on now. Put pineapple on there. There we go. Now we started a riot. Donuts. Toast of chocolate. No, we didn't see that. Pico jam. Okay. But yeah, French fries. French fry hearty meal. Fish and chips. That seems like the least amount of work for the most amount of saturation of it. So that was a great suggestion. I will have to do that as well. Luke said also the diamond sieve is the best for sieving, which we got through that also. Check enchanted books for strainer enchantments. I've done that in a previous episode, but for some reason we haven't gotten any for sieving. But if I do, I will definitely look into that. And also said use the carry-on mod by holding down the I key and then right-click the chest when standing close enough. So for whatever reason, Luke's suggestion gave me enough info in the right order that my brain needed to comprehend to know how to pick this up. And then once I saw that comment and I went back and read everybody else's comments, it finally clicked and made sense. So it's not necessarily that y'all were explaining it wrong. Piggy's just kind of weird like that in real life. I have to have things told to me in a very specific, certain way for my brain to understand it. So sometimes two people can be having a conversation and you know how they kind of like just understand what each other are saying by assumed words and presumed words. Well, I don't roll like that. And it's not by choice. My brain just says, nope, there are a bunch of missing words here, and so we can't make the connections, so we don't know what you're talking about. So thank you very much for that comment. That helped a lot. JS Flink says, why don't you put items into the compressor? It has an inventory. Well, look, we're putting items into the compressor, sir, and you're correct. So good suggestion. Kyra or Caria Loveland? I think that's a brand new name as well. So welcome to the channel and thank you for commenting. I think that's a she. Says, get a pig. And I think what they mean is from the animal bait. So let's go look at bait. Is there one for pigs? Wolf, ocelot, cow. Ooh, pig. Just 2 carrots. I could do that. I could spare 2 carrots. You know what? Use the elevator. I almost went straight for the for the ladder. Oh no. Oh, okay. Whew. 2 precious carrots right there. And then we'll place the bait. And then we have to walk away. Because we'll scare them if we don't. So there we go. Now we're going to get ourselves a pig. Awesome. I'll have one of my family members showing up and bossing me around. That's what will happen. Diamond Sky, which I do believe is a new commenter. So thank you so much for the comment. Welcome to the channel. Hope you're enjoying it. I think Diamond Sky is a she. I'm presuming here. If I'm wrong, correct me, please. She said, please show on camera making the automation instead of like other YouTube videos where they go off camera and poof, magically everything appears. Well, this took me the better part of 2 hours to build, which will make for a boring video, but what I figured I would do as the last part of this video is show you this build and explain to you the logic behind it and what's going on. Now, I know that there's a better way to do this, but like I said, after 2 hours of fiddling around, I got this to do what I wanted, and as we progress forward, I'll probably figure out better ways, or some of y'all will probably suggest better ways to do this. But here's what we got going on. I've got 2 hopping, I think that's hopping, not hoping. It's hopping bonsai pots, creating all the different stuff that comes from these trees. So we're sorting that out through the drawer controller into leaves, saplings, sticks, and apples. How many apples? Oh, wow, we've got a fair amount of apples in there. We can be eating apples. But then we are running that to an oak crucible, and we're making that water. Now, we're also running these oak trim blocks, which is kind of like pipes for storage drawers. We're running that to a storage drawer for wood. That's being sent to a powered furnace, which is going to convert it to coal. And the reason why is I started out with a whole bunch of wood, okay? But wood doesn't burn as long as charcoal does. So if we run the wood through here first, we will get 8 times the burn power out of the same log. So now that's being piped down through these hoppers, and it's going into these generators. So that's finally backed up. That's starting to back up, and then we'll get that backed up. Once I get the whole system full of coal, then what I'll do is I'll turn everything on, and we'll see, can this sustain enough electricity to power everything, or do I need to make another hopping bonsai pot? Now, my other problem with this is going to be eventually this is going to fill up with leaves. And so I have to figure out a way to pull leaves out of the system and send them to a void drawer. Maybe what we could do is actually make a void drawer, and when these two fill up, it'll go into the void drawer, and these will be here. I don't know. We'll have to fool with that. But basically what will end up happening someday is enough leaf blocks will fill up the system that they'll start backing up the hoppers, and then we'll have to manually come over and remove them. But for now, everything's good. But we're creating power. I went ahead and made the hardened flux ducts, because they will carry 4,000 power instead of 1,000. And I kept noticing no matter where I sent it, everything would get bottlenecked when I slowed down the power. So I made it where everything can carry a current of 4,000. So we're powering, let's follow the chain of progression, how these blocks work. So we've got our cobblestone generator going here so that we can have lava. Now I had fluid pipes going to the lava, which it would connect, but when I tried to run the lava to the coal generators, it wouldn't accept it. So it wants a bucket of lava, not a lava source. So that's why we're running coal through there, which, it's called a coal generator, so that makes sense, right? But then we've also got this where we can pipe cobblestone here. It's getting turned into gravel, which is getting sent over here. So gravel's right here. Now what I've been doing is when I want gravel to be converted to sand, I'll grab a bunch of gravel. We'll come over here and click that, and that shuts down that pipe. So no more cobblestone will come in here. See how it didn't fill up? So this will eventually run out. And then I'll take a stack of gravel and I'll put it here. It'll start crushing it and sending it over here as sand. And then I can crush sand into dust. Now, once we want to start making stuff, let's grab us a stack of gravel. We'll come over here to the siever, dump in the gravel, and it's going to start sieving it out. And is this turned on? I think that's on, yeah. So it'll pull it and push it into the drawer controller, which is going to auto sort it into all of these. Now I've got one full drawer because we've got 9 different types of ore available to us. So there's 4 and 4, that's 8, and then 1 is 9. You can see them coming out here. So basically we're running one pipe in here, sorting it here, and then pulling them back out here. They get sent over to this compressor. When you get 4 of them in here, see how it went? That gets compressed. That gets sent to the auto crusher. And it's got to output a 2, I was told, because sometimes we get 2 items coming out of 1. That just sent 1. But see, then it comes over here. It goes to the powered furnace. It's going to get converted into an ingot. And that ingot gets sent through these pipes to here to our compressed drawers. So that's what we got going on for right now. Now, with a larger room and a little bit more time, I could probably make a much more versatile setup. But that I felt like was a pretty good little setup for the room. I could not figure out, like we've got filter servo type things I can put here, but I couldn't figure out how to get them to work. So this felt like that this worked pretty good. I felt like it was a good solution for what I wanted to happen. And that is what that machine does. And that is all the comments. We got all the comments again. Awesome, awesome. So if you enjoyed this episode, please click that like button. If you want to see more of these as I release them and you're not already subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And if you want YouTube, only if, but if you want YouTube to notify you whenever new videos come out on the channel, click that notification bell as well, and they will notify you. Let's check and see. Did we get a pig? We got a pig. Hello, sir. How you doing? You want a carrot? Oh, he wants carrots. You know he does. Happy pigs want happy carrots. This was a fun episode to do. Thank you all so much for watching. I'm going to get myself ready for next episode, and that's when I hope to see you is in the next episode.